here till 5.
Okay. All right, this is a call to order for the Finance Committee meeting of Tuesday, October 4th. We're kicking it off here now at 2:36, a couple minutes behind schedule. Sorry for those who may have been waiting. I'm not sure we have anybody called in, but item number 2, committee or public comments. Do we have anybody calling in, Chris? That's a no. Okay. Stan?
No.
Okay. Item number 3, fraud risk discussions.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Item number 4, rate study.
All right, we're continuing to work with Mark Hildebrand. We've been providing him information and getting clarification questions back from him. So that's still in full swing. I estimate a couple more weeks of him crunching the numbers and getting everything in place with the assumptions before we have a product to go over and take a look at.
Okay. We had a brief discussion about, I think right now we're planning on a December timeframe, was what Mark has agreed to work.
That's when I talked to Mark last. He wanted to make sure that was the schedule we were working towards, and so
Okay.
that has been confirmed, yes.
I'm trying to get my head around the 11th hour stuff. So he'll have a product. We'll receive it, I guess, at some period before the board meeting, and
Right before
so we'll have a chance to get to the board so they can look at it before we actually
Absolutely,
have.
you'll go to the Finance Committee first, and then go to the board in December. And we're looking at probably
And the
90
December
day-
board meeting would be when the board chooses which methodology we're gonna use, and then set a public hearing for
Up to 18 would be for like,
218
yeah.
for in February.
Okay, and we'll have had a little discussion about that product during the December finance meeting. Is that the plan, or?
December or sooner, depending on when we get everything back from him.
But with
Okay.
that schedule, the first rate increase would likely take effect in February, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
When is the first opportunity that the Finance Committee, whether it be the regular Finance Board meeting or a special board meeting, gets to look at the draft product?
Well, it sounds like November Finance Committee meeting should have something for them to review.
That's the plan right now,
Right.
yes.
So the next Finance Committee, you should have something to take a look at and
Okay.
provide feedback.
Are we going to have that ahead of time so that we're talking
Yes.
from a
Yes,
position of knowledge, or, because if we get hit cold, I guess is my point.
no, absolutely. I think,
We're not going to be able to provide any intelligent input.
absolutely. And we could shoot for having it give you the weekend to take a look at it.
I think that would be sufficient. We don't need a whole lot of time. We
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
Weekend is fine.
yeah, and I don't want to
We
cut
can-
into
yeah,
Mark's
well, yeah.
schedule. He's got a lot of
We
stuff
can
to
get it
do.
on Friday, that gives us Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Whatever is reasonable for Mark. I mean,
And
it's-
Tuesday till 2:30.
And pardon?
And Tuesday till 2:30.
Oh, yeah, yes, or 2:35,
Of course,
depending upon how it
if we get
goes.
something before then, of course, we'll send it out, but yeah.
Okay,
At the latest to be the weekend, but like Ty says, as soon as it's available, we'll get it out to you.
okay, awesome.
Okay, great.
Thank you for that. Item number 5, financial statements.
Okay, through September, so I guess that's July, August, yep, 3 months. We have actual revenues of 4.66 million, which is about $200,000 below budget. As you know, we're seeing consumption down across the board. On the corresponding side, on expenditures, we're at 4.4 million, which is 168,000 below budget. So we still have a net positive of 223,000, which is about 28,000 below budget. So we're, as far as the net is concerned, we're hitting right on target, essentially. We have capital expenditures of 1.34 million. 900,000 of that is funded by the COP. And we have debt service principal of 278,000.
So just to expand on Ty's earlier point, as far as production, September of this year compared to September last year, again, the trend is to be pumping less, is 59 acre feet less than last September. So for the year to date, we're just under 370 acre feet below last year's pumping. So that's pretty significant. That's on top of, I think, was it 250 the year before reduction? So
Yeah, so we're gonna be tracking this close because we may, when we get to the mid-year point, have to do some sort of adjustment, depending on how things go from here on out.
If that looks like it's a long-term trend, is that information that would be useful for Mark, or is that something that we just need to?
well,
Yeah, he got the last year's consumption numbers, so he's working with the most recent
Okay.
consumption.
We want to make sure that we have the best numbers available for the rate study.
Right.
right.
So we don't want to assume we're going to pump more than we do, because that's what got us in trouble the last month.
Absolutely.
Right.
We want to make sure that we really understand.
Well, it's been the trend every month this year so far, with the exception of August. And I think August was because of the timing of the consumption and production numbers, the billing. But every other month has been less compared to 2021. So
Has it been growing, or is it just about the same offset?
I didn't have it on.
it varies. As I said, this month was, I think, 59 acre feet. I'm trying to remember. I think one month was 19. It just depends on the month, the weather, that sort of thing. I would anticipate, I mean, I've kind of put my neck on the line here, but I think going forward, we're probably going to continue to see that trend through October, November, December. Probably not to the 50 or 60 acre feet, but probably, compared to 2021, we'll see continue to see a decrease.
Yeah, it's typically when we're starting to decrease consumption for the year, for the season anyways.
Well, I'm seeing more and more yellow around the valley, or,
It's kind of interesting because this September is the highest consumption month we've had this year yet.
Interesting.
I mean, it was higher than July, it was higher than August. We had that hot week in there, but I don't know, kind of
yeah,
interesting.
it is strange in there.
Is this primarily an impact from residential, or has that new commercial
Restriction.
restriction impacting it? I mean,
The percentage of residential versus commercial and institutional is staying about the same. I think it was 82 or 83%, which is about what it normally runs. So as far as percentage-wise, it's staying the same.
So, yeah, across the board.
Okay.
And we are still out there, knocking on people's doors when we see green on the businesses. So we just sent some letters out last week to a commercial property, which are seeing some McDonald's. You can tell they've turned their water off. The Mormon church down the street.
Yeah, the grass in front of the Pepto-Bismol is looking like a little parched.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
yellow yet all over, but it's got yellow spots, and I know one of the local dentists in town, he's stopped watering his.
Right, right.
Okay, well. Are you done with number 5?
Yes, unless there's any further questions.
But in any event, even in spite of the fact that we're down in terms of water pumping, financially, we're still in good shape.
Well, yeah, the expenses are lower than budget, so that's helping.
Yeah, we're just gonna continue to monitor. If we see any big fluctuations in those,
Yeah.
then we'll bring it back.
Looks like we're very close.
Yep, good job.
I think people would accuse us of somehow
Nope,
cooking the books if we were any closer, quite frankly.
item number 6, account payable.
All right, go through some of the big ticket items here. Of course, on the first page, you have the IWVGA payment of $529,000. We all know what that's for.
Has that been going down?
It will. This month, it's the payment to the GA for the replenishment fee is just a little over 402,000. And then I think, Renee, was it around 61,000 for the pumping fee? So yeah, it's about 465,000 for the month of September. And it'll continue to go down because obviously
The
pumping goes down during the winter, so our fees will start going down. But if you saw the weekly update on Monday, we were just over $7 million now on the replenishment fee has been paid, so, to date.
Let's see, the next page only has 2 items. These were ones that we had to post in the previous fiscal year. Aflac and Minert's Industrial Supplies. The following page, we have the Aqua JPIA, our insurance, which is 70,000. Banner Bank of 10,700. That's the retention escrow for the tanks and booster station projects. Fritz Ford, 57,000. That was for the purchase of a truck for water supply. Krager and Stewart at 42,000. McMurtry, Hartsock-Worth, and St. Lawrence for 41. Murphy and Everett's for 36. And the big one on this page is RSH Construction Services, 203,000, once again for the tanks and booster station projects. Following page, we have Santa Fe Wind Water Works for 32,908, and that's for parts, pipe parts.
Okay.
Nothing really on the next page that's out of the ordinary. The last page, we have another Banner Bank for 13,487, which is once again the escrow for the retention. Clinic, very last page.
Very last page?
Yeah. So there's the Banner Bank for 13,487. We had a higher lab bill for 12,085. I think that was for some every couple of years testing. Core and Main for 23,000. Once again, more pipe parts. Ferguson Waterworks for 18,000. That was for some meters, bases, I believe. The big one again, RSH Construction Services, 256,000 for the gateway booster and the tanks. And then once again, Santa Fe Water Systems for 13,582, more parts.
Why does the RSH thing show up twice?
2 different pay runs. We had 2 different invoices to pay this month, last month. One early in the month, one later in the month.
Okay, thanks. They look mysteriously close to the same amount.
Yeah, they are close, aren't they?
Okay,
So they're 2 different months, so we missed a month in there.
right. Okay, any questions, Director Rotora?
No.
Item number 7, future agenda items.
I do need an action item. on number
Oh, sorry.
I move we recommend approval to the board.
Second. Okay. And item number 7, future agenda items. I don't have any.
No, I think we're probably good, and there's no point in doing anything until we get some feedback on the rate study.
Okay. We will call the meeting adjourned. 2:50 p.m., I'm sorry.